All right, our next card is Alvin York, and he is week number 3, card number 2. And there are pictures of him on our website if you want to just cut out a picture, or you can come up with something really cool yourself. So Alvin York was born on December 13th, 1887, and he died in 1964 on September the 2nd. And when he was young, he was born in Tennessee, and he was extremely poor. His parents had a lot of children, which is really cool, and he was homeschooled, which is really cool. And eventually his dad died when he was fairly young, and he became someone who wasn't doing really great things. He was doing a lot of fist fights and things he wasn't supposed to be doing. And then he went to a revival meeting, and he accepted Jesus Christ as his Savior, and it totally changed his life around. And from then on, he wanted to live his life for God. And so he was living his life for God. He was doing a lot of good things, and World War I broke out. The United States decided to enter it, and they called him up and they said, "You're drafted." And drafting means you don't have a choice. You're going to go off and you're going to fight in a war for your country, whether you like it or not. And so we don't have the draft anymore. We have only a voluntary military, but until after the Vietnam War, the United States and other countries would draft their citizens. So he was drafted, and he said, "No!" And he said, "I am a Christian, and I don't believe in violence, and I'm not going to do it." And the military said, "Oh, yes, you are, son. Yes, you are." And so they said, "Well, we'll put you into a non-violent part of the army." Lie. No. Didn't happen. So he was drafted, and he went to war, and he was in the 328th Infantry Regiment of the 82nd Infantry Division at Camp Gordon in Georgia, and he was sent over to Germany at Decauville rail line on October the 8th, 1918. So this is toward the very end of World War I. And what happened was, he said, these are his own words, "The Germans got us, and they got us right smart. They stopped us dead in our tracks. Their machine guns were up there on the heights overlooking us and well hidden, and we couldn't tell for certain where the terrible heavy fire was coming from. And I'm telling you, they were shooting straight. Our boys were just went down like the long grass before the mowing machine at home. Our attack had just faded, and there we were, lying down halfway across the valley, and those German machine guns and big shells all getting us." So basically there were quite a few, I think it was 17 men, were under his command, or with him, and almost a lot of the people had been killed, and so there were about 6 of them left. And so what he did was, he knew this machine gun was raining down on them. So he just kept on walking, and he was able to take out the machine gun people, all except the person who was in charge. And that person surrendered to him. And then, with just 6 men, 138 Germans surrendered to Alvin York that day. And so here he was, a man who believed and trusted in God, and he was one of the reasons that World War I ended, because he did not kill, he captured over 100 Germans in just one day, with just 6 Americans capturing them. So how cool is that? I want you to read more about Alvin York, because he is a real American hero, and he went back to the United States after the war, and he got married, and he had some kids, and he said that he wanted to be remembered as a man of peace rather than a man of war, and for his belief in God. And that's what he said after the war. So I think he's a really good person for us to get to know. So that is it for card number 2 of week